Hello gamers, Magehammer here for another edition of Tonight on Magehammer's Game Table, which tonight we have episode 6 of my solo RPG playthrough of my homebrew post-apocalyptic rules light / minimalist role-playing game, Dice Wastelands. When last we left our heroes, they had been sent out by their village on a rescue mission to rescue villagers who had also gone on their own rite of passage mission, but had not returned. So the mayor of Cratertown sent his most reliable, I suppose, heroes out to discover what happened to them. He provided them with a snuffaloop, which was a creature that was capable of tracking them over great distances, and they found their way to this ancient ruin where apparently their 4 villagers had tried to go to find the relics required to gain full membership in their village, and they ran into some trouble. I noticed some glare on my camera tonight. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to handle these tiles with my lighting situation. I'm working on thinking about it. Anyway, this tile has these really cool cylindrical areas, so I had those be prisons where a mutant named the Web Mistress had some arachmons, which are mutated spiders, and they had captured the 4 villagers. One of the villagers had been eaten, for the lack of a better word. The other 3 had survived. After a titanic battle, our heroes rescued them, with the exception of one that had died. And our heroes are Gronk, a mercenary from a nearby town. His partner, also a mercenary. That's Testermon, mutant. A human, Cherry Red, a villager of Cratertown. And Catmandu. She's a cat person, also from Cratertown. As I mentioned, they rescued 3 of the folks that they were sent out, and that is Horpel, Hoppa, and Kresha. They have since revived them, cut them out of the webs they were in, revived them, fed them some of their travel rations that they had with them, and now they are preparing to leave to return back to Cratertown for the long, arduous journey, which I believe, if I remember correctly, and if I don't, maybe they're walking faster than usual so they don't have to track, was 6 days journey. So, as they prepare to leave, however, Gronk sniffs the air and says, "Oh, death storm coming." In this post-apocalyptic world where this is taking place, occasionally the remnants of the apocalypse that destroyed the world, civilizations, hundreds of years in the past, still linger. And one of those things are storms that drop radiation on the land and area around them. And this is one such storm. So our people are now stranded here. I know the 3 villagers want nothing but to return home, especially because they're going to be carrying the dead body of one of their best friends. But for now, they're going to have to sit tight. But Testermon's like, well, we did notice some crates when we were fighting the Web Mistress in the other room. I say we explore a bit, see if we can get some loot for ourselves. And they all agree that that is an excellent idea. However, because the 3 villagers are not full citizens yet, they only get access to the relics they will need to join the village as full members. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to do some exploring in this area here with all these crates here. See if there's anything left over from scavengers or so forth. Also, they're going to see if there's any other ways that they can go in this small ruin, if there's more access, if they can find other areas of this installation. So we're going to roll on the loot table. For this campaign, I have been using my old trusty 4th edition Gamma World rules that I bought so long ago. Let's see what year that was, just for curiosity. think it's the 90s. Yes, 1992 this was published. It's pretty cool. But I'm using the loot tables in here. I have plenty of Gamma World resources to use, but this is the one that I felt that I would use for this campaign. Maybe if I run another campaign at some point, I will use another of the tables, many tables that are in the adventures or core rulebooks of many of the Gamma World books that I have. So they're going to search this room here, and we're going to see what they can find. So we're going to go to loot, and we're going to say that we're going to see if the web mistress has loot. They're going to loot her first, and we're going to say that she's been here a while and she's managed to gather some of the loot that was around here anyway. Plus, who knows what kind of mischief she had gotten into before she had set up shop here in this ancient installation. So we're going to roll her individual loot. We're going to roll a d6 and see what treasure class she was. Well, I'm sorry, loot class she was, and pretty good. Might have a chance to have some artifacts hidden around in her area. And she has some decent money, so that was a pretty good roll. So she has 100 domars. Make a note of that. Domars, of course, are the name of the currency that the characters use in Gamma World and also in 6 Dice Wastelands. And so, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I looked it up, but I think domars are like credit cards, like, you know, because credit cards are pretty prevalent, starting to be pretty prevalent in the 90s. And there were so many of them that they basically became, they figured that the ancients used them for money. Maybe they, you know, so of course the misinterpretation, the drift, cultural drift, they realized that maybe they had something to do with money, so maybe they just traded the credit card. So I think that was a pretty good idea. I remember exactly where I read it. Of course, you know, always classic, the Fallout was bottle caps, which I always thought was kind of fun too. But in this world, it's credit cards. So for now, that's what I'm going with. But they're called domars by the new denizens of Gamma Terra, this post-apocalyptic world. So that was quite a bit of money she had stashed away. Makes sense. She's probably had many victims and has probably stripped them of what they had. And now let's see if there are artifacts. So it says that she has 1 to 2 level 3 artifacts. If she has them, she may not have known what they were because she didn't use them in combat. She used a spear instead, plus she used her mental mutations. So let's go check the tech levels of art. Where's my artifact tables? And then we'll roll to see artifact ranged weapons. I thought there were some artifact tables in here. There's gotta be. Let me check the table contents. You know, this is part of my solo role-playing techniques. I just kind of, I like to use books. You know, I mean, I'm a PDF person too. I like digital books. I also like regular books. So anyway, and sometimes looking up books, the point of that comment was looking up books sometimes takes a bit of time. But that's, you know, part of what this channel is about. It's pretty much raw solo RPGing, like I'm down here in my basement playing a game. And you are coming along for the ride no matter where it takes us, I suppose. Okay, so if I'm looking in here, it's like tech levels, equipment, common artifacts, 85? Where's the tech levels? Tech levels? So, there's tech levels on page 75. Nice. Now, do I have any? All right, so all artifacts have 50% power cell, guns, 2d6 rounds of ammunition, junks and baubles, large items. There we go, tech level artifacts. So there are 1 to 2 tech level 3s. There's 1 tech level 3. Let's see what that is. and she was hiding 24 musket balls and gunpowder. They know what that is. She must not be able to figure that out, or maybe the powder was dry, but we're going to add that. Kathmandu is going to take that. So, but it's ammunition, but not weapons. So we'll write it down on their character sheets, character record, and they'll take that back and see if they can apply it to some of the muskets they have back home. All right, let's take a look at 1 to 2 Tech 4. So she has 1 Tech 4. So let's roll that up. It's also a D20. Ooh. Hanging around the web mistress's neck were some, looks like spectacles of some kind, but very bulky spectacles. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see. Gatling gun. Looks like they just have the weapons together. Oh no, they have other stuff together. HI. Doesn't have them listed. So they're infrared goggles. IR goggles. So they're gonna try to Cherry Red's pretty interested in those. There they are. No, there's IR scope. This is the same thing as telescopic sight. Shades of red, at least that's the IR sights. Yeah, so I think, I'm sure it's in this book somewhere, but yeah, so everything is red, and they can see in the darkness, so that's pretty good. Let's see if they are powered up, if the 50% chance to be powered up. So, they have power, excellent. And let's see if Cherry Red can figure them out. She's got a 2-die mind. She needs to get 3 successes before she gets 3 failures to figure them out. But since they look like spectacles or glasses, I'm going to say that she only needs a 4 to count as a success. All right, so she got 1 4. 1 failure. If she rolls 2 1s, she breaks them. That was only 1 1. 2 failures, 1 success. All right, there you go. 2 successes, 2 failures, and yes, she figured out what they are. So now she has some IR goggles so she can see in the dark. Sweet. All right, those may come in handy. All right, so that was what was on the web mistress. Now they're going to check out this room over here. Now this room looks pretty good, that it has plenty of stuff in it. So we're going to roll randomly to see what kind of loot it may have had. Looking at the loot types, looks like it's pretty good. So we're going to call it loot type H. And they're finding some loot in here. So here we go. Loot type H, 2d6 curiosities. And that's 5 curiosities. Okay, let me find a curiosities table here. All right, junk baubles of curiosities. So we're looking at 5 curiosities. I'm gonna say 2 of them are normal and 3 of them are large items. Those are pretty big crates that are there, so. All right, so over on junk and baubles, regular size, 43. Empty Rolodex, okay, sure. We'll give that to Testermon. Another 43, another Rolodex. You know what? We'll just turn that into 34 instead. And that's a stapler. Awesome. I hope it's red. A red stapler. It is red, I said so. And now for large items, 09, an electric wheelchair. Sweet. Let's see if the battery works. 50% chance. And 64, battery's dead, but it's a fun, the wheels still work. Well, maybe they don't. They probably froze up because it was powered. So other than that, it's just a really nice chair. They're probably not going to take it with them. It'll be too heavy to cover. And second thing, 21. That is a industrial size kitchen mixer. Looks like somebody was trying to set that up. And then the other thing is photocopier. That's pretty decent size. Cherry Red's very interested in the photocopier. And she's trying to figure it out. 1 failure, 1 success. 2 success, 1 failure. Oh, double, she broke it. All right, so the photocopier now doesn't work. It's too large to bring out of here anyway, so that was pretty fun. There are also, in this loot type, 1d6 level 3 artifacts. Let's see what they found laying around. 6, that's fun. So we got 6 artifacts. So we're gonna go to the tech level 3 artifact table. I mean, there is a certain charm to rolling on random tables, right? I mean, and there's so many different games now that have random tables, both for solo RPGing and also for running traditional and standard role-playing games. Sometimes it's just better leaving them up to chance, and that's pretty fun. So we're gonna do 6 tech level 3 artifacts, 2, a lantern. Ooh, got another lantern, sweet. All right, since Testermon tends to carry the lantern here, I think Cherry Red will take that lantern. So they got themselves a lantern. Plus, they could probably trade it or sell it once they get to Crater Town. I mean, people always need a lantern. Next up is 94. Oh, no, 20-sided. So a 19, a ranged weapon. Very cool. Can be greater than or is less than or equal to tech level 3. So there is a... It's a ranged weapon, page 93, where the ranged weapons are. Tech level 3 or less. All right, so it's less than or equal to tech level 3. So we'll roll a 1d3 to see which tech level it is. And it is tech level 1. So that's kind of interesting. So on here we have javelin, quarterstaff, spear, and a whip. I'm going to say that it was Webmistress's spare spear, since she wielded a spear. That's what that was. All right. So that was 2 things. We're down to 4 more. 4 more. Let's see what we got. Tech level 3 items. 6. And that is a sextant. Oh, that's kind of interesting. We're going to put that in their pack. I think Testermon will take that. Down to 3 more. 15. Fuse cord. Ooh, that could come in handy if they ever find some explosives. Nice. 2 more tech level 3s. Okay. Spyglass. Awesome. Kathmandu wants that. Pretty much figure out how to use that, so not going to figure that out. It's not hugely. And then the final tech level 3 artifact that they find is rope. Always handy for adventurers and travelers. Rope. Okay. Now, there are 1d6. No, 1d4 tech level 4 artifacts. We might even get a tech level 5. Laying here for ages, waiting for somebody to find them and use them. So there are going to be 3 tech level 4s. So let's see what we get. Tech level 4 artifacts. D20. 17, sports gear. Ooh. That could be fun. So this sports gear is basically going to give them Gronk is not going to be able to wear it. Testermon's wearing leather armor. I'm going to have it, and you know, Kathmandu has scrap armor. I think Kathmandu's going to take it. And it says in here it goes 1d6 extra armor for Gemworld. So I think for my game it'd be 1d3 dice worth of defense. Three dice. Good. That's better than what she has with her scrap. So she's going to ditch her scrap, put on the sports gear because it's going to fit her. And that's going to put her up to, her agility's 3. That's going to be, she's going to have 60 defense with that. I suppose it's American football gear. So, and that's what we got going on. So she has a 6D now. That's pretty sweet. All right, so that was the second thing, right? No, that was the first thing. Oh, 50, okay. Yeah, okay, so we've got 2 more things. Now let's decide whether it's actual artifacts or armor and weapons. We'll go, if we roll a 5 or 6, it's armor and weapons. 1, 2, 3, 4 is regular artifact. So that's going to be a regular artifact. The second one. 9. Oh, sweet. Power cells. That's huge. 1d8 power cells. 1 power cell. Okay, we'll take it. Nobody has an energy weapon, if I remember correctly. We have the pistol, and that's it. So they're going to keep that, like, in... Kathmandu will carry it. If any of them ever come with an energy weapon, they'll be able to use that power cell there. Sweet. And for the final one, let's see if it's a weapon or if it's regular. It's regular tech. And that is more power cells. We're going to take it. 5 more power cells. So 6 power cells. Great. That's pretty big, actually. Now, there are 1d2... Yeah, level 5 artifacts. So let's see what they find. Let's see what the key in this one is. Wait, what am I doing? Oh, 3. No, 1 to 2. So that is 1 level 5 artifact. All right, let's see if it is regular or a weapon. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a regular artifact. 5, 6. It's armor weapons. It is a regular artifact, non-weapon artifact. We're gonna roll the d20. 11. And it is another power cell. Cool. All right, so actually, power cells are much sought after. So they're gonna give those to the 3, they're going to give 1 power cell each to the 3 adventurers that they are rescuing, and they're going to keep the other 4. Those power cells will be enough to buy the rite of passage for our rescuees. Now what I'm going to do is, while the rad storm is about to hit, I'm going to roll to see if something is trying to find shelter from the storm and ends up inside the installation where our heroes are while they are searching. They have the 3 villagers with them. The body's over in the rooms where they spent the night. And we're going to see, I'm just going to say there's a 50% chance that something comes through those doors. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, nothing comes through the doors. 4, 5, 6, something comes through the doors. It's a 5, something comes through the doors. Let's roll to see what is seeking shelter from the rad storm, the death storm, as our heroes call it. All right, what are we looking at? Yep. And sure. That makes sense. All right, let's see how many there are. we're going to go 1d6. Let's go 1d3 plus 1. So 3 of them come through the doors. These doors are closed currently, and we're going to make a test, mind test for all of our heroes to see if they heard the doors or the approach of these creatures. So a mind, Kathmandu has 1 mind, 1 dice in mind. Cherry Red has 2 dice in mind. Testermon has 3 dice in mind with a reroll. And Gronk has 1 die in mind. So they need a 5. So Cherry Red says, "Ooh." So does Cherry Red says, "I hear something." And Testermon says, "I do too." And Gronk's like, "What?" And Kathmandu is like, "What?" And so they're like, "Shh, be ready. Survivors, you have no weapons, hide. Something is here with us." Gronk's like, "I don't care." He goes bursting through the door, and what he sees are, what did I say? Yeah, so 3. Did I say 3? Yeah, because I rolled a d3 plus 1, so the 3 is 2. So 3 of these creatures, like, look like humanoid chickens, and they're wielding machetes and have medium armor, and they see Gronk and they attack. They do not like creatures that are not them. So we're gonna roll initiative, even though the others are in the other room. Cherry Red has 3 dice now in agility. Testermon has 2. And Kathmandu has 3 with a reroll. And our man Gronk has 2. So here we go. Roll initiative. On 4s, they act before the opponents. If they don't roll a 4 on any of these dice, they go after. Looks like everybody is going before. Very cool. Very sweet. And so there's some death. And so Gronk's like, roar. He goes forward, swings it at the leader of these creatures. And because he has the larger mutation, he scores extra successes on attack rolls that involve strength on 5s or 6s. So 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 successes. The Gallus Enforcer has medium armor on. They're pretty well equipped for wandering around the wasteland, so that's pretty good. And so he's got, and saves 2 of them and takes 7 damage. And they're fairly hardy creatures. So let's see what we got. All right. Get my cool LED. For those of you who haven't seen in some of my other videos, I have an LED pad that I use to track hit points and everything. You just you draw on it. Hi. And then you push the button and it disappears. So that's what I'm going to track their stamina on. So that, and that. 3 of them. And like I said, one absorbed 2, so it takes 6 damage. It's taking some damage. All right, so they hear a bok, 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 and they hear Gronk go. So Kathmandu, Gronk is kind of like outside the door, so it's kind of hard to get past him. So they had the survivors go hide in the room they were looting. Kathmandu is going to stand behind Gronk, and Gronk doesn't fully block that, so he's going to take a shot with his crossbow. But I'll tell you what, if he rolls 2 1s and all of it has no successes, I'm going to say he hits Gronk. I think that's fair. So he's got 5 dice with his crossbow, and there we go. All right, so gets pretty decent. 5 successes, and can reroll an agility test, and since ranged weapons are agility tests. Okay, so 5 successes on the one that seems to have been smashed by, because there's like blood and stuff that's been smashed by Gronk's railroad tie club. So it has to save that. So 2, 3, 4, 5. And it saves 2, takes 3 more damage from a crossbow bolt that wings it. Then Cherry Red. Now, Cherry Red, I'm going to roll. Since she had her ammo stolen, I'm going to roll and see exactly how many shots she has left in that gun. And we're just going to do a D6. She has 3 shots left. So she's going to fire off her pistol at one of them. That might be the last shot she takes this particular combat. And so she has a 5D with her pistol, thanks to her advance last time, which upped her agility to 3 dice. And not too bad, 4 successes. And the creature absorbs 1 of them, takes 3 more damage. They're picking on the one. She picked on the one with the crossbow bolt sticking out of it. Concentrated fire tends to bring down opponents faster. Then Testermon, can't really get in there. Has a mental blast though, so targets one of the creatures that has not been hit by the physical attacks and fires off a mental blast at it and gets 2 successes and does 4 damage to that one. All right, so now they attack. They all 3 just attack Gronk because he's there. So Gronk, get ready for your defense, Gronk. All right, so here we go. So they have 5 dice because they have twin machetes. So there you go. And this one's 5. So all 3 of them are going to attack Gronk. Swish, 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 swish. All kinds of machete. All right, so that's pretty. That's going to be some stuff to save against for sure. And yeah, some pretty solid hits. Okay, so we'll go against this dice here first. So 4, he's going to save against 4. And Gronk saves 3. Pretty good. So takes 1. All right, so that takes care of that. This other attack is 2, 3, 4. He saves 2 of them, takes 2 damage, down to 18 stamina. Then 2, 4, 6. Ooh, gonna take some damage on this no matter what. And takes 4 damage, so he's down to 14. He's got scratches. It's gotta hurt. All right, so now it's initiative. It is initiative. And we've got everybody acting before the Gallus Enforcers. For those of you that are Gamma World historians, you will know that these creatures first appeared in the GW2 module for first edition Gamma World called Famine in Fargo, which I thought I had a copy of and I couldn't find it, so I just ordered a print-on-demand copy from Drive-Thru RPG, and it turned out awesome. So very excited to reread that. Gronk is going to kind of push forward, which he can because he's large. Actually, he's going to move off to the side and attack here. He's going to attack the one he's been attacking, opening up the way for his compatriot. So he's going to take a swing at that guy he's been wounding. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. Wow. Okay, so he gets to re-roll one of these failed ones, but I'm kind of glad I got this on camera because that's like, you need a 4 to hit, and yeah, so it's on camera. So he's gonna re-roll 1, and he gets 2 successes. So not a total failure, and then he does that because he had an advancement and he became skilled in strength checks. And so, okay, so apparently my phone stopped recording for some unknown reason. I don't know if it was on my iWatch or my Apple Watch, or if I bumped my phone, but it was a pretty titanic battle. There were some poorly rolled rolls, but some really good rolls too. In the end, Gronk took some damage. Cherry Red took a little bit of damage. Kathmandu took a little bit of damage. Testermon had a decent second mental blast, a decent amount of damage, and they battled through, and they took down the Gallus Gallus. And I kept making jokes about, dinner is wings tonight and stuff like that. But ultimately, they don't eat sentient creatures. So as the battle, they have to spend another day, because the death storm that drove the Gallus Gallus into the ruins. After a death storm, you usually take about a day, about 24 hours, to give time for whatever kind of horrors that the death storm brought, as far as radiation or other, or as these people call it, the curse, to kind of fade, because rad storms or death storms hit pretty hard, pretty fast, and they disappear and leave behind what they can. Any crops that are caught out in a rad storm or death storm are pretty much useless, and they have to start over again and replant after a short amount of time. So they don't happen very often, but they do happen. So anyway, they have to spend yet another day in here. They pretty much looted it completely. They haven't found any other ways that they can go deeper into this installation. This is it. This is all there is to it, or all of it has been, cut off. So they take the villagers, the Snoofalump, and they head out back into the wastelands to return home. And that's what the second half of this journey is going to be, as they return home. As I mentioned, we're going 6 days. So they're going to have to keep the other ones alive. They managed to find their primitive weapons that the Arachmon's taken for them. And they're going to make their way home. This will be the road. On the road to home. Good enough. Just for a little bit of visual. Put on their dice. Good stuff. Anyway, so yes. So they're going to travel home 6 days. We're going to see how many encounters they have and what they encounter. I think for the sake of brevity, if they run into any combat, I'm going to basically say that the villagers that they're escorting back home kill one of the opponents on their own, and I'll roll to see if any of them die in the process. Like, I'll just do a random roll instead of trying to work them into it. So I'll basically remove one opponent that I roll. That's going to be taken care of by the 3 villagers they rescued, and I'll make the regular combat against whatever remains happen, full on out. All right, so the first day of travel, they have an encounter. One encounter, that one right there. So let's see what they encounter. Say it's midday. That's a 7. Classic. They're getting attacked by badger people. We're going to go... Let's go 1d4 plus 2. So 6. Okay, makes sense. One of them, since there's... Yeah, one of them will be attacked by the villagers, and the other 5, our heroes, will fight. Let's see if they have any kind of ambush going on here. Let's see. We'll have mind tests by our people. Let's see if they can sense anything. And Kathmandu has keen senses, so for a roll like this, gets 46. Normally it'd be a 1d because it's a mind test, but because it has to do with senses and smell and so forth, because the keen senses mutation gives her 4 dice on this. And then Gronk is at 1. So here we go. They are looking to see if they can sense the ambush. And the batters are pretty good at hiding. I'm sorry, badger people. And Cherry Red and Kathmandu sense them in the air. We have company. And so at that, they hear vicious screeching as the 6 badger people, mutants, animals come out from behind boulders and behind rusted areas and rusted what used to be cars kind of things, and they attack the travelers. And so we're rolling initiative since they knew they were here, and we'll see what happens. They're coming from both sides of the road, so 3 over here, 3 over here, and everybody in our party goes before the creatures. They have made themselves a bit. They're not in melee yet, but guess what? Gronk's going to go melee right up on. He's going to go right and attack a batter. Does pretty well, really well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 damage on a batter. They do it their best they can with their scrap armor, and it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 and saves none. Gronk literally turned it into a badger paste, took it down, smashed it into the ground. So that is 2 remaining on that side, and 3 on the other side. And there's also, behind those 3 off to the right, is a rather inspiring looking badger man. And so there you go. Catmandu attacks, shoots with his light crossbow, which he always has loaded when he's traveling the road, of course. He's going to let fly with a light crossbow bolt at the nearest batter that's approaching him. Does not roll horribly well. Gets 2 successes, but since that counts as an agility test because it's a ranged weapon, he gets to re-roll, which doesn't really matter. And does 2 successes, and the batter easily avoids that damage, catches it on a shield that it has as it moves its way towards the party. Cherry Red only has 2 shots left in the pistol. She's going to hold on to that and just move forward and attack one of the batters with a battle axe. So here we go. She only gets 1 success. Wow, okay. And the batter easily avoids the blow. Okay, so that brings us to Testermon, who is fairly vulnerable to physical attacks, though he's wearing armor. Is pretty dodgy. He's going to move behind Catmandu. He sees the inspiring batter behind the forces and unleashes a metal blast at him. So 2, 3 successes, and does only 4 damage to that inspiring batter war chief. And the party is fighting one of them. The other 3 rescuers. So here we go. So Gronk, one of them attacks Gronk, and one of them attacks Cherry Red on that side. Gray is Cherry Red, black ones are Gronk. So Cherry Red has to dodge 3 successes. Gronk has to dodge 3 successes. Gronk's got 4 dice and dodges 2, takes 1 damage. And Cherry Red has 5 armor, chain shirt and shield, and dodges 3 of them. So there were 3 there, so she dodges 3, so she takes no damage. Catmandu, I forgot these creatures are being inspired by their leader, so they hit on 3s. So from this point on, he is now starting to be inspiring, I guess, and so the bonus now applies. Apply the ones that he's behind, I guess. That makes sense. So the one fighting the guy's attacks will roll randomly, see if they survive this turn or this combat once it's over. And that brings us to 2 attacks on Catmandu. And they hit on 3s. And so Catmandu's got to dodge that with his new wonderful football gear, and dodges 3 here and takes 1 damage. And then has to dodge 1 over here. Oh, no. 1, 2, 3. 3 has to dodge 3 and does. And then the war chief lifts a nasty looking pistol, aims it at Testermon, and lets fly a bullet. There's this loud crash, and fires a magnum pistol at Testermon. And the magnum pistol hits on, or doubles on 5s and 6s instead of, gives 2 successes on 5s and 6s. And so 2, 4. So 4 successes that Testermon has to dodge / armor has to absorb. And only 1, so takes 3. Down to 12 stamina. All right. So now we roll initiative. Let's see what happens next. All right, so we've got 3 here. We've got 2 here, 3 here, and 2 here. Here we go. And Kathmandu gets to reroll agility tests. So they are all going before the creatures. Testermon doesn't get his mental blast for another 2 rounds after this one. And so Gronk smashes the one that attacked him. So he gets to re-roll 1 because he's nice. So 2, 4, 6, 8 on a batter, and it absorbs 1, takes 7. That's enough to fell it. So another batter goes down, and then that's 1 left on that side. Cherry Red uses her battle axe and attacks the one in front of her for a decent 4 successes. And it absorbs 2 and takes 2 damage. Wounded, but still fighting. Kathmandu is going to attack with her claws and gets 4 successes. Pretty good. Oh, and that gets to reroll. Yeah, so 4 successes. And the creature absorbs 1 of them, takes 3 damage. Testermon is going to whip a, what's Testermon going to do? Testermon's going to whip a knife at the batter chief. So we'll see what happens with that. I think he's 3 dice with those. And not too bad. 3 successes. And the batter chief has decent armor. And saves it. The knife just pings off of his metal armor. All right, now they attack. So there's an attack on Cherry Red. With a Morning Star. 3 successes. Cherry Red dodges / lets armor try to absorb it and gets 3 successes. So no damage to Cherry Red. Then there is an attack on 2 attacks on Kathmandu. 4 and 4. Morning Stars. And so Kathmandu has to dodge. What do we got here? Yeah, 6 because she's got the sports gear on. So 1 here and does. And has to dodge 5 here. That's a pretty solid blow. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it takes 1 damage, but she gets to reroll a failed agility save. Still takes 1 damage. Down to 13 stamina. All right. And then the war chief takes that magnum and fires at Testermon again because he knows Testermon has that mental ability because they hit him with his brain. So that's bad news. So Magnum 5, 2 successes on 5+. Oof. 2, 3, so 5. Save against 5. Testermon, save versus 5. Ooh. Doesn't get any. Takes 5 damage. That's massive. All right. Here we go. Nasty. All right. That's all the creatures. So now we're going to roll initiative again. Testermon is hurting bad. Magnum pistol's really doing a job. Okay, it looks like, oh, everybody but Testermon is going before the creatures. So Gronk's had enough of the Batter Chief, so he circles around and attacks the Batter Chief because he can get through his front line, no problem. With his Railroad Tie Club. And that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 successes. Pretty dang solid. This one has a little better armor than his friends. I keep forgetting that they have a 3+ to hit because they're inspired by their chieftain. He absorbs 3 of it, which is pretty decent. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Takes 7 damage, and that's enough to fell him after that mental blast took him down, so he drops. The other ones, if they have a chance, if they survive, they're probably going to cut and run. They start, they see their boss go down. That's not good. Kathmandu is going to attack with 5 claws, 2, 3, 2, 4. Takes 4 successes. And it absorbs 1 and takes 3 damage. And that drops that one. So there's only 1 left. Nope, two left. 1 fighting Cherry Red, 1 fighting Kathmandu. Sorry. And then Testermon doesn't act till after. And Cherry Red, I don't think I had Cherry Red attack this turn, so Cherry Red's going to attack her opponent. And gets 2 successes. That'd probably be easily dodged. And it is. So her opponent is still up, and it attacks her back with a Morning Star. Oh my gosh, all those ones. That's crazy. 1 damage, or 1 stamina, so she has to dodge, which is probably pretty good. Chain Shirt and Shield. And she absorbs 1, no problem. All right. And then that brings us to... Woo! Oh yeah, there's the one that the villagers are fighting. Forgot about that. It's going to attack Kathmandu. And 3 successes. But you tell you what, instead of attacking, it goes to attack and it says no, and then it surrenders. And the villagers defeat one of them. And Cherry Red's is still fighting. They both surrender. So they basically strip them of their gear and send them off back into the Wastelands. All right, the one that Gronk smashed the first time. Ooh, let's see if any of the party members. All right, so I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll a d6 on a 1. One of the party members died. Otherwise, they're just wounded. 6, no problem. All right, sweet. Okay, so anyway, so one of the ones that Gronk smashed had a pistol. So they're going to give that pistol to one of the villagers, and Cherry Red's taking the ammunition that it had with it, which is not enough. It was not a ton, but it's enough for her to be able to fire a pistol again without, worrying too much about ammo. All right, so that was the first day. There's 5 more days of travel. So what I think I'm going to do is, with the mishap I had earlier, this video is going a little bit long, so I think I'm going to speed up the journey home. And instead of rolling 3 times a day, I'm just going to roll 5 more encounters, or 1d6 for each day, basically. I'm not going to roll for a night and a day because it's running a little bit long. And to be fair, my son wants to get on his Xbox, so... But if I have another encounter, I have another encounter. So we'll see which of the days I have another encounter in. And it is only 1 encounter. Only 1 die came up a 1. So we have 1 more encounter towards their final journey home. And let's see what they encounter. Not all encounters are combat either, by the way, here in this dangerous world of Gamma Terra. All right, as the party moves down the road. So she has some ammo back, so that's good. Sweet. All right, so there's 1 more encounter left. They've healed up with Healing Touch and other things. So Testermon's back up to 15 stamina. Gronk is back to his 21 stamina. Kathmandu 15 stamina, and Cherry Red 19 stamina, as well as the villagers that they are escorting back to Crater Town. All right, so let's see what they encounter. Let's see what that is. All right. Huh. Everybody's favorite, dabbers. All right, so this is a considerable party of dabbers, about 12 of them. They step out into the road and they say in, as best of the common trade tongue as they can, halt, pay the toll. Now, dabbers, of course, are mutated raccoons, so they're very, very interested in shiny things. And this one says that he's exceptionally interested in artificial arms. But apparently none of them have an artificial arm, so he's greatly disappointed. And they say, well, tell you what, we'll pay you 100 domars. And they're like, ooh, money. Yeah, we can use that at a trading post. So they give him 100 domars, and they make a lot of friends. That's a lot of cash. And so that was the encounter there. They don't have no need to fight 12 dabbers after all. And dabbers aren't always necessarily nasty. Batters are, but not always dabbers. So a nice trade is made, and they make their way back to Crater Town. When they report to the elders and to the mayor, there's much sadness that they've lost one of their villagers to the Wastelands. But at the same time, it could have been much worse, and they could have lost all of them. And if it weren't for the heroic efforts of these heroes of the Wasteland, heroes of Crater Town, it could have been a lot worse. And not only that, the 3 that have returned, thanks to the heroes of Crater Town, have also fulfilled their rite of passage and will become citizens in a ceremony upon the next day. So all's well that ends kind of well. And so with the exception of that little glitch in the middle of my video this time, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry you didn't get to see that battle as it went on. It was pretty intense, but that's the way it is. I wasn't going to refight it because it turned out the way it turned out. And so the story went on as the story went on. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming along with me on this ride. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for supporting me. I'm glad that this can bring you guys a little bit of joy, just as much joy as it brings me. So this is Magehammer, a gamer in his basement, playing games, sharing them with you. Till next time, keep on rolling dice and playing games. Magehammer out.